Well, all right, folks. The day has arrived. The day we always knew would be coming. I think it happened a little bit sooner than perhaps most of us would have assumed, but it's official. The Raiders are finally, after years and years of relocation rumors, heading to Las Vegas. There was a point in time where they looked like they were going to Los Angeles. It was like the Rams got in there first, and they had to deal with the Chargers, and now they're going to Las Vegas. And I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts on this one. It's one of those things where, it sucks if you're a resident of Oakland. I think if you've been a long-time supporter of the team, but I think what makes this relocation thing with the Raiders different than perhaps any other team in the league. When you had the Baltimore Colts move to Indianapolis in the 80s, that wasn't really like a big deal nationally. It was a big deal locally because you didn't really have that many fans of the Colts outside of Baltimore. I hate to say it, it became the same deal with the Browns when they moved to Baltimore in '96. It really kind of had a regional impact, but really, unless you lived in Cleveland, who cares? Now, the Raiders are different because they're one of the few teams out there who has sort of a trans-regional fan base, right? Because you always have fans in Oakland and LA. You have Raiders fans. Well, they call it the Raider Nation. You have them all over the place. You got fans, in England. You got fans in Mexico. You got fans all over the U.S. So I think the idea of moving the team out of Oakland or even out of the state of California altogether really doesn't do as much damage to the brand overall as it would, if you moved another team. Like, I don't know, pick a random team like the Carolina Panthers or something that doesn't really have a history or any sort of, overarching national brand prominence. That said, I think a lot of us really would have preferred had the Raiders stay in Oakland, but the fact of the matter is the city didn't really do its part. They had years and years. They've been trying to get a new stadium in Oakland for 20 years now, and they couldn't get anything together. So I think the part of the blame here really should go more towards the city of Oakland and not being able to finance a deal. Not that I don't blame them. Obviously they're going to pony up a lot of money, and that's probably not the wisest thing to do when you're in a state that's, in so much debt. But at the same time, it's a little bit of the greed of the Davis family. It's a little bit of the greed of the NFL. But the fact of the matter is, Oakland, they had a long, long time to get something together, and they just couldn't do it. And really, you can't blame Mark Davis for wanting to get out of there. The stadium itself is dilapidated. And Oakland's a terrible market. It's shrinking. There's really not much economic outlook for it. And really, Las Vegas, it's an international city. It's one of the few truly international cities in the National Football League. New York, international city. Chicago, international city. LA, international city. Las Vegas, international city. You have so much commerce going on there. It's an international destination. And, the economy is huge. It's about to grow. Population is booming. You're getting a lot of non-casino, non-nightlife related entertainment sort of businesses going out there. So it's definitely a town on the grow. There's going to be a huge population increase in southern Nevada over the next couple of years. I think this is really, it's a good fit for the team. And it's one of those things where, come on, the Las Vegas Raiders, that just makes so much sense. It's such a perfect fit with the brand image. And as an East Coast Raiders fan, I like this a whole lot better than having to go to Oakland because, number one, it's way easier to get to Las Vegas than it is Oakland. And who wants to stay in Oakland for a week? Sorry, but there's nothing going on there. Whereas Las Vegas actually is an international destination. You got so much stuff to do. Unlike Oakland, actually has a booming economy. It's got a big population increase coming. And really, I think its future is just beginning. There's going to be a lot of economic development there, a lot of opportunities for expansion. And I think it's ultimately going to be a good fit for the Raiders. I'm looking forward to at least making my one pilgrimage a year. Every year to go see the Raiders play on that big dome out in the middle of the desert. So I think overall it's a good thing. It's going to do a whole lot more good for the team. It's one of those things where you had to have known it was coming. It just had to. I think this is going to improve the team a whole lot. Now, the question now is, we're going to have about a good 2 years for the stadium is completed. Maybe even 3 years. Oakland, the city of Oakland and the Raiders have that 2-year partnership for the lease agreement for the current stadium in Oakland. Odds are they're going to be playing in Oakland. They're going to maintain the Oakland Raiders name. They're going to be playing at the Coliseum this season. After that, we don't know. They have another 1-year lease agreement. They can do that. So they can be playing for Oakland for less than 2 more years. But, if you're one of the people that's an investor in Nevada, do you want the team playing there sooner? Do you want them playing at the UNLV Stadium? Do you want, what's it called, Sam Boyd Stadium? Is that what it's called? Do you want them playing there? So that's going to be kind of the interesting thing now. It's a done deal. Oakland had every chance over the last 20 years to get something together. They couldn't do it. So now Las Vegas gets the team, and really that's going to be the interesting thing, How soon will this team actually be playing games in Las Vegas? Personally, I think they're going to be doing at least 1 year in Oakland. That's pretty much guaranteed. And I think they'll actually re-up 1 more year in Oakland. I think the team's going to do very, very, very well this season. And, it's going to be weird, but this might actually be a scenario over the next 2 years where you have a team who goes out and actually wins a Super Bowl in one city, and then the following year they begin their season playing home games out of an entirely different city. To the best of my knowledge, that's never happened in pro sports before, and I think it's a weird thing, but it can happen. That's the sort of situation we're in. As far as everything else, I don't think it's really going to change the day-to-day operations of the team. A lot of people have been saying, well, having a team in Las Vegas doesn't make kind of prone to corruption, will be a distraction for the players. And the thing is, you see about any major city. There's lots of distractions in Atlanta, a lot of distractions in Miami, a lot of distractions in LA or New York. So I think it's going to be that big of a difference. Obviously, the NFL feels pretty sure about the whole gambling thing. They're going to put a team in Las Vegas. Looks like we're going to be on an elevated schedule here, or an expedited schedule, my bad. Elevated too. I don't know what the elevation is in Las Vegas. Probably not as big as Denver, but there's that. And I think the team's going to stay in the AFC West. Probably no changes there. And it's going to be fun. I think having Las Vegas for a team actually going to have more people from the Raider Nation come out. It feels like The Stand, Because like the evil dude, the Handle flag, he got everybody coming to Las Vegas. That's what it feels like. It feels like they're actually making, the Raider out there, the black hole, the Raiders homestand out there, in that dome in the desert like Mad Max. It just makes too much sense. And should be great. I'm looking forward. I think it's going to be a huge improvement for the team because you have updated facilities. You're going to draw better free agents. It's a good market. And the team could be very, very, very good for a long time. I think the management's finally there. You got the investors. You're in a very, very good market with a lot of potential co-branding opportunities. This is way, way better a deal than anything they would have gotten out of Oakland. Just point blank. And frankly, I think it's a better deal for them than having a split revenue agreement in Los Angeles with the Chargers and Rams. I think this is a much, much, much better solution, and probably the best thing that could have came out of relocation. Nobody really wants relocation to happen, but if it had to, this is the plan B everybody wanted. I think it's going to work out in the long term. And as far as everything else, I don't really expect any major changes. They're going to change the logo. They're going to change the team colors. They're going to change the name. And they're going to stay in the AFC West. They could possibly realign them to the NFC. I've heard proposals about that before. That doesn't really make any sense. And it's a win-win. It's a win for the Raiders because you actually have an updated stadium now. You're going to get a couple of Super Bowls out there. And frankly, it's a part of the country that's a whole lot easier to get into if you don't live on the West Coast. And once again, I got to say this, Raider fans, Raider Nation is everywhere. So I think it's a good thing. We're going to see the Raiders 1 more year in Oakland, and then after that, we'll see what happens, depending on how their season goes. And from there, looking like around 2020 or 2021, the first official season in Las Vegas in that huge stadium out there. It's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. Heading up there for a weekend bender, catching a Golden Knights hockey game on Friday, watching a UFC show on Saturday night, and then a Raiders game on Sunday. Oh my God, I'm about to move to Las Vegas. Like, these are all the signs coming together that we all need to flock over there and have a mass exodus. And they don't have a state income tax either. So it's just a fairly libertarian kind of place to live in when they voted Democrat, but it's neither here nor there. Las Vegas Raiders, I think it's got a great ring to it. It sucks they got to leave Oakland, but I don't think they really had much of a future in Oakland, to be honest. And in Las Vegas, I think we've opened up an incredible, just vast panoply, maybe both, of opportunities this team would have had otherwise. And I, for one, I'm looking forward to this bright new future in the silver and black state. What else can I say? Viva Los Raiders.